Hi, this is a general tarot reading for March. So we are going to be using the Cosmic Tarot, and it is already shuffled and ready to go. I'm just going to lay them out next to me and we can pick them together. And the first card is going to be like the main focus of the month. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see what it is here. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is showing that there will be some changes coming ahead in March. Well, we know the obvious change, that there will be a season change. So there's going to be natural cycles that come in. And, when those natural cycles come in, a lot of times that does kind of encourage us to make some changes in our home or our diet or our wardrobe. So those are changes that we usually can easily roll with. But, because it's the main focus of the month, I would say that there's going to be other changes that come in that maybe you aren't so prepared for. So, a lot of times with change comes endings. Now, when I personally have readings for myself, or when I understand that energy is coming in of change or endings, I'm very proactive about it, and I will make an outward gesture to welcome in the change. And when I say that, it could be something small, like cleaning out a closet and getting rid of what I don't need anymore. And I find that outward gesture really helps. It's sending a message to my higher self that, yes, I'm willing to accept the changes that are coming. And it gives you a little sense of, getting a head start or being prepared. So, maybe some of the changes that are coming are ones that you planted seeds a long time ago and finally now are coming into fruition. Perhaps all these things will be taking place. This is interesting, and let me show you this card again. So, we understand the natural cycles that come in and out, not just of the seasons, but of our own lives. And you can see this card is just loaded with cycles upon cycles upon cycles. But there are people that feel the need to control things and to square the circle, in a sense. And it's very interesting to me because there's one square here, around this circle. And that is something that I would not recommend, that you cannot, control everything in your life. And it is really okay to do your best to work with the changes that are coming. And as I said, maybe be a little ahead of the game by making some changes beforehand. That idea of squaring the circle, there are places where we see that. And one place is when students graduate, and that, there's a certain tam that they wear. And I understand there are more meanings than one for that. But one of them is just that you're squaring the circle, that the chaotic mind has now been controlled with logic. For the type of reading that we're doing here, I'm saying that we don't need to do that. You don't need to square the circle here, but rather go with the changes. So let's look at let's choose another card together. And I think we should ask, what will our challenges be in regards to the changes that are coming? Okay. I'm going to show you first. Okay, it looks like it's the Two of Swords. Very interesting. So some of these changes could leave us feeling a little unsure or vulnerable. A little off balance even. This is a very interesting, Two of Swords, and we'll look at it more closely. It's a little different than the general Two of Swords that you'll see where the person is holding those swords in their hand. And when I see that image, I always think, wow, how heavy those swords are and how that weighs on a person. But the artist in this deck has shown, they have the swords here in the ground. So it is not, weighing so heavily, but it is, it is a concern. It is night, but there is a full moon and some reflection, some ability to see. There's a cat here. Now, as you know, the cats, their eyes are able to make use of very small amounts of light, and they can see through the night. So that's a very nice totem to have in this card. So when you're having this Two of Swords and you're feeling unbalanced, and there's this looming feeling of, I just don't think I'm seeing the picture clearly. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes that I don't know. So, with that cat there, it's giving you an opportunity to really take your time and try to look through the darkness of the uncertainty that's going on in your mind. Also, the cat totem, cats, they will wait and wait, and they know when to wait and they know when to act. So to me, again, that says that, have some patience in this process. Take your time. And again, because we're not holding the swords, that weight isn't there. It's allowing us a little more time in this process. Be, a little easy on yourself if you're having uncertainty. Now, I think there's a deeper issue about uncertainty, and not so much that there's a person doing something behind the scenes, but a lot of times I think it's time for us to really face ourselves and where we ourselves are holding ourselves back from what it is we need to do, or in this case, what it is we need to change. As I said, those changes could be anything depending on what's going on in your life. So, to me, having that full moon and having some of that light there is very positive. So through this darkness, there will be light, but I think it's just a matter of, like I said, taking your time, making your choices, and really reflecting, really looking at yourself. And like I said before, where are you holding yourself back? So, to continue on this trajectory, how about the last card? We say, what will our blessings be, once we have worked through this process? What's coming at the end of the month to reassure us and as a blessing? Okay, I'm going to show you first. Okay, it looks like that is the Nine of Pentacles, and we couldn't have picked a better card for a card of blessings. This card is, time to pat yourself on the back, really, because this card is a card of achievement. In this deck, it's very beautiful. I like this deck very much because there is a lot of symbolism here. You can see it's usually often associated with, a woman who has gained some strength and wealth in her life. But, there's also the idea, in my opinion, that this, she's a very independent woman. There's different schools of belief on that in this card. But, I see this as someone who is independent. So I would say if you are having those worries at different times of the month, there's going to be a point in time where you feel a sense of your own independence coming back, and able to make the choices and decisions that you need to. There's also, it's very earthy. She's usually associated with a garden. You can see luscious fruit and flowers there. Beautiful bird. That bird is a nice totem to add that sense of, that power and clarity as well, and wisdom as well. So, because it will be spring, there's also the idea that it would be wonderful to get out in nature and get out in a garden, or even start some of your own gardening if you'd like. I think that would be called for here. If not gardening, maybe you want to go shopping or get yourself something to make you feel good. There's certainly an element of sensuality in this card, in my opinion, and I think it would be a wonderful time, again, as spring is coming and as the earth is blossoming, so are we. And to be able to connect with your sensuality and to kind of put, in a way that you're comfortable, to embrace that and put that out in a way that makes you feel good and strong. And once again, I want to say that this is a card of great achievement. There's, even if you can see in her hand, she's holding a key. And, in old stories or movies, when someone was given the key to the city, it was usually after they had made some great achievement. And, so I would say that is also, it's kind of what I'm trying to say here. So pat yourself on the back for a job well done, even in the small increments that you're happy with things, the way things are going. Don't hesitate to, pat yourself on the back the way you probably would someone else. So I think this is a very benefic ending to this reading. Let's look at the cards again. And here's the wheel one more time. Wheel of Fortune. All the cycles and change. The Two of Swords. Our challenge will be to see clearly and gain balance and certainty. And our blessings, the beautiful Nine of Pentacles. Very lush and sensual card. So that is our reading for March. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I will see you in April. Bye.